I can tell it means a lot.
Live from Augusta with a First Alert weather update.
Well, we're cutting into programming here because we do have a tornado warning for just a sliver of Washington County here in the CSRA. This was a confirmed tornado just south of Macon here over the past maybe 30 minutes or so. This was observed crossing the interstate down there, Interstate 80, and that's continuing again to move eastward. It's not quite in our viewing area yet, but we do have some portions of Washington County included in that tornado warning right now. So that's why we're cutting into programming here. So if you are in Sandersville or places west in Washington County, make sure you're go ahead and getting into your safe place right now. I'm going to go ahead and take just a little bit of a closer look at what we are dealing with here radar wise. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a closer look there. But again, that tornado warning is in effect. Let's see how long it is expected to last. But I would say at the moment, that tornado signature, again, is just outside of our area, just south of Gordon. Let's see if we can get that pulled up here. There we go. I would say right now that circulation is just south of Gordon, right in this general area. And again, this was a confirmed tornado just south of Macon. They had an EMA official spot that tornado there. So it was on the ground producing damage just a little while ago. They're not fully confident that it's going to stay on the ground, which is great news, but definitely something that we're going to have to keep a close eye on. Again, that's why we're cutting into programming right now. That rotation looks to be just south of Gordon. So that's going to be crossing over into Washington County here, probably within the next 15 minutes or so. But let's see what time this tornado warning expires. So this expires at 7. Wow, that is a very long tornado warning. I would anticipate this to get shortened. Realistically, a tornado warning is probably not going to last 40 minutes, but hey, we're going to stick here and we're going to keep you guys updated as we go throughout this tornado warning. So again, this was a confirmed spotted tornado on the ground just south and east of Macon, but this is continuing to travel east for our area, and this is going to impact just a little portion of Washington County right now. So that's why we are cutting into programming for you guys here. So here's a look at the big map here. We've had a first alert issued, so we have been tracking this line of showers and thunderstorms honestly for about 2 days now, and it's finally made it to our area here in the CSRA. But here's another little housekeeping thing I do want to go over too. If I'm not calling out your city right now or your county, you are good. So I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh, what about me? What about me? If I'm not talking about your city or you haven't heard me say it, things are okay right now. So again, this is really just impacting portions of Washington County here. So Sandersville, big heads up lead time. You are not under this tornado warning right now, but this is just going to give you a big heads up of what we can expect possibly if this continues to extend. So this tornado warning is going until 7 p.m. There are other areas that I'm keeping a close eye on, but I want to zoom back in on this. Let's switch over to this radar view. We can probably see it a little bit better there. But there has been reports of hail as well. And we can kind of see that where that lighter whitish color is right here. That's showing some strong indication of hail. And with that, that's telling me there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere. There's a lot of uplift in the atmosphere as well. So that's what needs to produce hail, but also can help when we're talking about producing tornadoes there. So again, we do have that tornado warning right now. If you're just now joining us, for portions of Washington County here in the CSRA, and that goes until 7 p.m. I would say, let's switch over to velocity here. What we're looking at, and it is very, very close to the radar site, and that's good visually for us for the most part until it gets as close as it is right now. Here's that radar site there. But it's kind of a little bit jumbled at the moment. But nonetheless, I would say this tornado right now is just south of Gordon. And so again, that is outside of our viewing area for us, just south of Gordon, but it's moving east. And again, that includes portions of Washington County. So Sandersville, this is kind of a big leadway to you guys. If this holds together, you need to go ahead and just kind of be thinking, hey, maybe you have dogs outside, things like that, you need to go ahead and have that idea of maybe I need to be getting an idea of where my safe place is and how I can get there. But I think they just had issued a bigger severe thunderstorm warning, and that's definitely going to have that tornado possible tag in it. Let's go ahead and click on that and see what the latest update is there. So yeah, hail. I knew that they were tracking hail, and we were seeing some indications of that on the radar. But again, this is still outside of the CSRA, but nonetheless, we're breaking into programming because a portion of our viewing area is under that tornado warning. So again, if you're in Washington County, just be on that big heads up there. That tornado signature is not quite in Washington County yet, but it is anticipated to move in there. But nonetheless, we do have a big severe thunderstorm warning just outside of our viewing area, and that's going to be tracking eastward. So right now we're looking at strong hail, a possible tornado or two could be embedded in that line. So let's go ahead and go back to that tornado warning there. Again, just barely outside of Sandersville is out. Sandersville is not in this tornado warning right now, but definitely something that we're going to keep a close eye on as it continues. That's a little bit of a better look there, but we actually do not have a tornado watch for the CSRA yet. I would be anticipating that's probably going to be extended into our area here over probably the next hour or so. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm also keeping an eye on this storm just a little bit towards our north. Over in the Tolliver, Hancock, Wilkes County area, not warned, not even a severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm just kind of showing you guys White Plains. That's something that I've been keeping a close eye on over the past maybe hour or so. But again, we are breaking into programming because we do have just a sliver of Washington County under that tornado warning, but this was a confirmed tornado just south of Macon. So where that kind of white outline box is, that's where that tornado was confirmed on the ground. So again, that's extended, and we're kind of thinking that maybe it's lifted up a little bit. We haven't had visual on it in probably the past maybe 5-10 minutes of it actually being on the ground. So hopefully it has lifted up a little bit, but it definitely is going to be something that we're going to continue to monitor. Again, still continuing that tornado warning until 7 p.m. So this is for portions of Washington County. Let's go ahead and see. I'm kind of waiting for this system to move just a little bit further away from the radar here, because I feel like that's when we'll kind of get a little bit of a better view of where that circulation is. But let me go ahead and save this view right there. But we can kind of see back just a little bit in this area. That's kind of where that circulation is. Let's just back it up and pause it right there for you guys, of where we can see that circulation. So again, this was where that confirmed tornado was, just south and west of Gordon. Now we've got, let's clear that, south and west of Gordon. And then again, it's continuing to track eastward. So this is going to be moving into Washington County here probably over the next 20 minutes or so. So this is a big heads up. Sandersville, you are not in this tornado warning, but if it sticks together, it's going to continue to track that way. And so this is something, again, that we do need to take seriously. We haven't had visuals of it on the ground still as it's continued to move eastward, but this was a confirmed tornado on the ground just a little while ago, south and west of Macon, south and east of Macon, excuse me. But I think that circulation here is just south and east of Gordon, and that's going to continue to track eastward. So again, here's that county line of Washington. So if you're in Okanokie or places like that, Oconee, excuse me, that is probably where it's going to be tracking eastward for that area. So again, something that we'll keep a close eye on. I want to see where they extended. Okay, they extended that severe thunderstorm warning that I was just showing you guys talking about. Again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning now impacting portions of the CSRA. That's going to be Washington County, Hancock County for us here, and that does have that tornado possible tag along with it. So definitely something that we need to take seriously. I know severe thunderstorms, we're kind of thinking maybe not as serious, but if it has that tornado possible tag, that's just giving you a big leadway into what possibly could happen. So just make sure that you are kind of thinking, hey, this is where my safe place is. This might be where I need to go as we go throughout the next hour or so. And again, this expires in about 40 minutes here. Current time is 6:19. This tornado warning expires at 7 p.m. This severe thunderstorm warning expires at 7 p.m. as well. But again, that's why we've cut into programming here. We are keeping track of what was previously a confirmed tornado, but now we haven't had any visual on it as of the latest couple of scans. So this is where that tornado signature is, at least radar wise, just south and a little bit east of Gordon. This is going to be tracking eastward, and just kind of moved that there, but let's get a little bit of a step back here. So Sandersville, you are just outside of this tornado warning, but if you're listening to us and maybe it's going to take you a minute or two to get to your safe spot, go ahead and just have that idea of, hey, we might be extended in this tornado warning. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible tag, this orange polygon here, but this red polygon that's going just west of Gordon and then all the way into Washington County, that is for, again, this tornado warned storm. It was a confirmed tornado just a little bit off to our west and south, just south of Macon, but as it's moved a little bit closer, we haven't had any confirmed visual of what we are seeing again for that tornado warning, but nonetheless, it's just showing us that, hey, just a little bit ago, it was on the ground. So something again that we're going to keep very close tabs on as we go throughout the next 40 minutes or so. So let's take a little bit of a closer look here. I'm really thinking that rotation is going to be, again, just south and east of Gordon. And I'll tell you this whole system has moved very, very slowly. It was just moving through Atlanta at 1 p.m., just now making it to us here in the CSRA. So it is a very slow moving system. That could be some good news for us because these systems can only have so much energy and they will kind of tire themselves out, but definitely something that we'll have to continue to keep an eye on here. But again, I'm thinking that rotation is just now east of Gordon and it's going to continue to move east, but a little portion of Washington County is under a tornado warning right now. So that's why we are cutting into programming, and that's what we're tracking. And that's why we've had a first alert issued, and we've had this issued for almost a week now. We were anticipating strong to severe storms with an isolated tornado possible. And so again, this is just a tornado warning now that's going to be moving into Washington County here. But I'm kind of waiting for the system to get a little bit further away from the radar so I can get a clear signature of what it's looking like. But I kind of want to pop back in and check up to our north a little bit. Here's Crawfordville. That's another area that I'm concerned about. This is not under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is not under a tornado warning, but I'm just kind of telling you guys, hey, something that I'm keeping a close eye on here, as it was giving me a little bit of concern as it was over White Plains. But nonetheless, another housekeeping thing, I'll say it again. If I'm not calling out your city or your county, that's because you don't need to be taking immediate action. So if you're kind of asking, oh, what about me? What about me? Well, if I'm not talking about you, that's good news. You don't want to hear me talking about where you are living. But again, that's what we are tracking right now. This tornado warning goes until 7 p.m. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning covering a good portion just outside of our area, but this goes even into Hancock, Washington counties there, and that goes until 7 p.m. as well. So something that we're going to keep a close eye on here as we go throughout the next roughly 35 minutes or so. So this is a very slow moving system. It's moving east, and let me see, actually, I'm going to get the time track of it exactly here, but I want to see how fast it's moving. Let's go ahead and erase that from the radar, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's moving at 20, 30 miles per hour, which is not common at all. Let's see how fast it's moving here from the National Weather Service. Yep, moving at 30 miles per hour due east. And typically when we see these systems push through, they're moving at 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. This is moving at 30, so snail pace, if you will, as it's tracking east. But again, this was a confirmed tornado south of Macon, but now just under a tornado warning, and that includes a little bit of Washington County, which is in our viewing area. So that's why we've cut into programming here. Just make sure that if you are in the city of Sandersville, that you're kind of just keeping an eye on things and you're kind of thinking, hey, maybe this next scan, we might need to go into our shelter. So again, that's kind of what we are cutting into programming for. It's not where I wanted to go. Let's get this moved over a little bit for you guys there. But there is a tornado watch, but doesn't include any of our counties here in the CSRA just yet. So again, we're just keeping track of this cell, and it doesn't look like there's too much of a hail core anymore. There was a little bit of that whitish color just east of Macon, and so that was kind of showing us, hey, there's a lot of uplift in the atmosphere, and there could be some rotation there. So again, that was just showing us that there's a lot of energy in this cell, but this is including a little sliver of Washington County there that goes until 7 p.m. So we're going to stick with this storm, make sure that it does not continue to track through the portions of Washington County here. So let's take a look. Here's the latest scan here, and I would say that rotation is actually just a little bit more towards the northern part of this polygon. So again, if you're a little bit north of McIntyre, not quite in our viewing area just yet, but just make sure that you are getting into that safe place. I think that's where that signature is. Again, that should be crossing over 29 here shortly. If not, it's probably on top of 29 right now. So Highway 29, that is. Continuing to track east at 30 miles per hour. So this is not a quick moving system. So it is very slow moving. We have a line of thunderstorms for our area. Again, strong to severe. That's what we've been tracking here for the past couple of days. We've known that, hey, we are anticipating a stronger thunderstorm or a line of thunderstorms moving through. And I want to see people in the back. Could we get the camera shifted just a little bit? Is that possible? Okay, thank you. I just feel like I'm keep having to move around a little bit. But let's see. Okay, kind of looks like that hail might be moving back up a little bit there. But just know, again, if you are in portions of Washington County, make sure that you are getting into your safe place where that tornado warning is. So again, that's what we are tracking here, that tornado warning polygon, I should say. Oconee, you are included in that. We're seeing a little bit of that hail core here where that whiter-ish color is, that light color. That's showing that, hey, there's energy in the atmosphere. It is going up and back down. So again, we are keeping track of that as we continue to go out our evening. This is a tornado warning, including portions of Washington County. This goes until about 7 p.m. tonight. So we're going to be here for another 30 minutes or so. This is the only confirmed tornado warning, I should say, for our area. This was a confirmed tornado just south of Macon. So this was something that we at least know, hey, this system is producing tornadoes, or had the potential and did produce tornadoes just a little while ago. But again, that threat, we haven't had visual on it as it's continued to move east, but that threat is still there. So we have continued that tornado warning. So again, portions of Washington County, Sandersville, you are not included in this tornado warning, but I would say let's go ahead and be thinking about where we want to go if we do see this extended into a further tornado warning, because that will continue to track eastward at 30 miles per hour. So you have a little bit of time. And again, you're not included in that right now, but we do have a pretty decent size severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. So this includes Hancock County and Washington County, but let's see if I can kind of get a little bit of a better visual of where those warnings are. Not really. But we can just see, I guess I'll kind of zoom out a little bit further of what all we're dealing with. I mean, this is a lot. I'm also keeping an eye on this storm that's a little bit more towards our north, but nonetheless, Macon, south of Macon, there was a confirmed tornado on the ground that has continued to track eastward. So that's impacting portions of Washington County. So that's why we've cut into programming here. We cover Washington County. So again, we are seeing that potential for that rotation to continue and drop drop down for us. So that's going to be something that we're going to keep a close eye on. I'm kind of looking at some of our cameras right here. I don't think we have any that are that far out into Washington County. So again, we are keeping that close eye on that as we continue for the next 30 minutes or so. That's when this tornado warning expires. But here's a look at that velocity, and that's what we use to tell when there's winds going towards and away from the radar there. So that's when we can kind of see there's a little bit of circulation going on. And again, this is not the city of Washington. This is Washington County, and they just canceled that tornado warning. I definitely agree with that. I will say there is a couple of areas that I'm kind of still want to keep a close eye on, but just know if you are in Washington County or even Jefferson, Glasscock, Burke County, make sure that you're just kind of staying weather aware over the next 30 minutes or so. We're going to keep a close eye on this. We're going to keep tracking this. I'm actually about to go on Facebook and go to Facebook Live. So if you are in the CSRA and you're kind of getting a little bit worried about this, or even if you're in Washington County and you're like, hey, we were just under a tornado warning, I want to know what's going on, go over to our Facebook page. I'm about to go live on there and I'll continue our coverage there. But if we do not have a tornado warning for us here, I will not cut into broadcasting, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible tag. But if we do get another severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning, excuse me, for our area, we'll cut back into programming. We'll get you guys the information that you need and keep you safe. But as of right now, I'm going to take a step back from the TV side of things and I will go on Facebook. So again, if you want continuous coverage, please join us there. Also, we're going to be streaming on our website. That's honestly the best way that you can get a hold of us is on our website, our YouTube, Facebook pages. Those are the best way that you can continue to get this coverage. So again, we're probably going to wrap things up here on the TV side of things, but keeping a close eye on this severe thunderstorm warning that's going to impact portions of Hancock, Washington, even Johnson County down there. But we're also keeping an eye on some possible rotation off to our north. So we'll have updates on that. And again, if there is a tornado warning, we will cut back into TV coverage. But as of right now, I'm going to send things back to programming. I hope to see you guys on our website. We will be streaming live here and probably give me about 5 minutes to get back over there and get things running. But thanks for tuning in. I'm going to send things back to programming.